I decided after the part you just watched, as I'm walking by right here, you've seen my face 1,000 times. It's not like you don't know who I am. So this would be a better way how to explain this stuff I just got, as opposed to what you're not going to see because I'm going to cut a bunch of the video I just made. Stick with me. All right, so the premise of this video is why, I don't know how this is all going to be edited, but I'm going to start talking about this here. So these books, authored by Nathan Hare and Julia Hare. I'm going to go out on the leap here and say that it's probably spouses to each other, makes them married to each other. This book I have sold before. I don't remember if it was this specific copy. I remember the title after you said it before. And you probably pick up on it as well. What you do, the more you say something, the more you type something, so on and so forth, it becomes better memory, right? So if you're looking this up, or whichever, however you come about the stuff that you look up. When you type it and read it and say it and inventory look for it, now it's more in your memory, like this is something I need to look out for. This is one of those. It just happened to be there. Well, they all happen to be there, but and I knew that one. That one has a barcode. This one came up listed for like 40, 50 bucks. They sell much cheaper than that, but I have to really look more into it. But for the $2, the 24 bucks I paid for the 15 items, right? No barcodes. So I took this stuff and other stuff and filled up a cart with a lot of good CDs, which I'll get to. So I think it turned out pretty interesting. And I decided, it's like, all right, if I'm going to get one, and they're $2 books, and one is pretty good, the other one's pretty good. These ones, they did have a listed value, not much, 10, 12 bucks, $14. But as I open this one up, it's signed. Open this one up, it's signed. I open that $40, $50 book up. You get the point if you don't see it. It's signed. Open this one up. It's signed. It's signed a lot. I'm sure it's probably safe to say I can get $100 for this, if that's what I was going for. I mean, individual, maybe a little more. Maybe we'll go in a lot. But I didn't find anything that was listed with at least Nathan. Is that his name? At least Nathan. I didn't find anything listed, or maybe been listed, but sold. So that's a good find for the $8 minus 20% and tax and stuff, right? So those are the interesting finds. So those were the books. There were a couple other religious books that just didn't quite meet that price sale ratio, sold ratio. So a couple FYE, or I'm sorry, FYC for your consideration. What they're used for exactly, I'm not sure. I'm going to guess for probably nominations for different things. That would make more sense. Yeah, I want you to consider this so you can vote for it. Otherwise, for some sort of award, something. And if that's not accurate, there's going to be some innards of what I said that's got to be applied something for these things. That one's like 20, 20 low, 30, 30 low. And then there were these CDs. So real fast here. This is a Dire Straits. Looks like the self-titled import from Japan. I don't find a lot of imports, but I do every once in a while. It's still like 20 bucks. Most of the CDs here are going to be 20 bucks. Even this Jefferson Airplane Ceristic Fellow 24 karat CD, still like 20 bucks. But if it wasn't, it'd probably only be like an $8 CD when I have one to sell. That's kind of a mystery. It does come up. I think there are two that did. One's international. The one international total price that came up, adding the shipping and the sale of it, and it was used, was like 30 bucks. I still don't know, but one domestically had, well, one sold in the United States. It was used. It was like 8 bucks, or maybe cheaper. This one's sealed. Can I look around and see on why that price discrepancy? There was not a whole lot to go off, but it's enough for me to spend $2 on, even if it's sealed. If it sells for 10 bucks 6 months from now, still made my money. But if it's I didn't bother looking the rest of it up because it has enough history to it to where I'll just bring it home, get pictures of it, and list it. And if the sealed ones sell for 30, 40, 50 bucks, even better, right? That's kind of my logic when I buy a lot of, since there's not a lot of competition and it's sealed, I can command the price. There we go. Now I'll talk about command. The Marshall Tucker band, it is a it's a 2-disc that's in here. These are still regularly about 30 bucks. This CCR, is it? Yep. So this one is, if I remember, it's like 15-ish, right around. But I'm within I don't buy, this is just what was there. If there's a lot of gospel music there, that a lot of it catches my eye, the strange and the weird, or whichever, or throughout the experience that I've picked up on by, I mean, if there's like Gaither is one, there's some oddball ones. They don't sell fast. Mississippi Mass Choir, I sold a lot of their CDs and DVDs. Things like that you start to remember. And then there's a bunch that you just like, nope, nope, nope. I so pick up that weird stuff, and then you'll start picking one little artist. And then there's other ones, Michael W. Smith. I have a lot of sealed stuff, and I'm waiting for the right buyer on them. But that one's only like 15. This one, even in the first video I made, I said that I really don't remember, but it's got to be probably about 15 bucks at minimum. It might be a $50 one. Well, because I would remember that, but still, say 20 bucks. So for all these, for the most part that are ranging, it's going to fall for CDs wise in that $20 range. Average, still making pretty much 10 bucks a transaction on. This one is the interesting one. This one, it does have a barcode. So how I showed before on how it's easier to do in the different angle, right? Just going to apply that pressure, pop, slid that up, scan that barcode. Two came up, one for like 75, another one for 100 bucks. Works for me. Pretty well-known artist. Why am I still scanning these things? Because I've never seen this one. It's just not the artist. It's the art, I should say. I don't remember the art. Now, I remember the artist because kind of I grew up a little bit on the folk range. But I don't know it. Never seen it. Kept it to scan it. Scanned it. Turned out to be pretty good. Hit sold. One has recently sold for 40 bucks. So I'm going to take a little more time and look. And the disc is absolutely mint. And look and see if it does have a $60, $70, $100 used selling value. But I can at least go off of one sold for 40. And even if that was a fluke high end, I know where to start at. Even if that's a fluke low end, I know what the low end is, right? So that's that. This I've sold before. Like a year ago, I sold one. It's Jean Michael Jari, Les Concertos in China. I'm gonna guess China is Chine. But that's like 30 bucks. And this Carolina Chocolate Drops, just one. It's another gatefold, right? It's another mention those gate. Oh man, I give it away right there. So to be sure, so this is signed. So this specific one, if I remember right, it's 12, 15, 18, a little bit of water damage, right? But signed. So I went to a couple other listings. One I looked at to make sure it is exactly that. And I clicked on it and it was new, so I had to go to another one. And well, the other one was new, other they didn't have an open picture. The next one I went to had an open picture, and the picture in the listing did not have this, but they had this picture, right? So I knew that the signature, because sometimes it can look like it's actually part of the artwork instead of from the artist. So now I had a reference point, and the one that was in there did not have that picture, and nor does the booklet. There's this picture, and no squiggly, which looks like a signature. So I said in a handful of videos ago, you probably have better odds finding something that's signed in the basic media section, or something or someone, and it turning out to be much grandiose, and you only pay a couple bucks for it. And I got these frames. There's like $30, so they were $2 for the frames. And then with the frames, I'll wait until I get a bin, and there's 25, 30 frames waiting, and I'll wash them up and get pictures and list them. So this will sit for probably at least a month. Just money in the bank. So that was a productive stop for what it was. I did that run yesterday. Pretty tired. I was laying down I was pretty tired, and then when I got up in the morning at 8, I came downstairs, sipped some coffee. 8:20, my eyes were closed again, and I was out for 2 hours. So I got stuff done today, and then everything kind of calmed down. And then after traffic, I went down to Savers. I found some good stuff. Made my time worthwhile. If I'm going to sit at home being bored, I'm done with the work will eventually generate money. I'll go out and go do something with my time the result will be the possibility for more money. Made sense. Now here we go. So there's all that. Kind of a little different than usual for videos wise. I guess it's kind of a takeaway on why I picked the things that I did, and most of these were rocks, so it was a lot of rock. I mean, there was some Alice Cooper there was some Foreigner, wasn't Foreigner, it was Journey, and there are a couple others that were some other CCRs, Peter Gabriel, 2 other Dire Straits. So there's a lot of other rock there, just the mix of that's what I brought home. This is not a typical grab from Savers for CDs wise. A lot of times when I'm going to stores, for DVD, for disc media wise, a good stop is 8 to 10 items, period. No matter if there's some books in there, maybe frames or some other small things, but for the most part, the media is 7, 8 at each stop. That's a better higher end. But if I'm going to 3, 4, 5, 6 stores a day, and even the lower end, if I can get 10, 15 things in one stop, at a day I probably wasn't going to go out. Yeah. So I'm just going to wrap that one up. And I'm going to use the end of the video that I made before for the end of this one.